in family, your goal is to hold the family together. Happiness, sadness, love, cry, everything together. And in gang life, in like any other business, in end of the world, you're talking about the money. And more deeper you go in there, you more realize it's not you they care about. It's how much you can bring to the table.
Today we are here with Freddie, who is going to be discussing with us his challenges through the addiction and how he left the gangs in the streets of Vancouver. Freddie is an individual who's currently working to give back to the community by supporting individuals who are stuck in addiction. And Freddie's life story comes all the way from Iran, where he left to seek a better life, basically, in the Western world. And here we are. He got into the gangs, he got into the substance use. However, through, I would say, character and will, he persevered, and today he is giving back to the community by helping those in need. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Freddie. How are you today, my friend?
Not bad, thank you.
Excellent. Freddie, this is an honor for me to be sitting here with you. I am excited to be discussing about the path really from childhood to where it has led you to leave your country to seek for better life, and then bumpy roads, I guess you would say.
Yes, absolutely.
However, I think today you are probably the happiest you have ever been.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take me back. I think when we spoke in the past, you said you were born in Iran.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you leave?
I born in Iran, and I mean, 74 when the revolution happened in Iran. My dad was part of the king ex-government, and he went to jail, and we have a hard time in Iran, and most of the people, because of the politics and everything in Iran. And we were young. I was very young when the revolution happened, and I grew up in that chaos and violence. And I think most 90% of every young man and woman in Iran is to get out that chaos and have a life.
Okay.
Normal life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Whatever we call the normal.
For sure. When did you decide enough is enough? I'm leaving Iran.
Well, it took a long time. I finished my army there because over there is a mandatory. You really can't do anything until you finish your army. You serve your country, or. And when I come back, we have to be in the front line and war. And I come out, and it was pretty hard for me to see. You go fight for the country, and you come back and you see the people inside the country suffering that bad. So I got a little bit involved with the freedom fighters, and which in Iran is not a good thing. So I got into some trouble, and result of this trouble forced me to escape from the country.
Okay. And then, did you come straight to Canada, or?
Oh no, excuse me. I travel. I went to Turkey, Pakistan, Philippines, Japan. Just travel around to find a settlement. But that time, my brother left the country when he was very young. And he went to United States, and my goal was to get to him, like go to my brother. But that time, because of the whole world against of the Iranian and Iranian government. It was not easy road for
Right.
Iranian and Persian to get to the United States or anything. So we have to travel around until we find a way to get there. So, yeah.
What was your life like when you first settled in Canada?
When I settled in Canada,
Yeah.
well, first when I came to Canada, I came as a refugee status, and I I started working hard, try to. I think most of us we try to catch up with the life, but we forget life. It is what it is. There is no shortcut. There is no catching up. You go through to life. So I started working. I work in casino, construction, name it, pizza delivery, God, whatever it comes to my hand. And yeah, it was good, but I believe I was that time. Later on, I find out I'm diagnosed with post-trauma depression due to the war and revolution and all these things. But I didn't know that time, and I never was happy. I just work.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So you're telling me you, at that moment, you were just realizing that PTSD is a thing, and yet you had never actually gotten help for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what led you to join a gang? Do you think?
The gang, kind of, I don't know what gang I think for me is like lots of people, young generation. Reality is we leave our family and we're searching for family,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And gang is became the family you lost, and in your mind think these people can fill that void, right? Especially my culture, we are very family oriented in Iran. Family is literally everything.
Correct. Yeah.
So it was kind of, and you come media, you see all the movies, people, your imagination about the North American life or Western cultural life is, and you come here and you work, and you never get anywhere. And you chasing the shortcut.
Right. I think that's a powerful point you're bringing up, because as immigrants, we are chasing something when you're coming to the Western world, and there's that vision that you have, and it's about how fast can you get to it, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. We know the Western world through to media, through the movie, through to the TV, but we all know reality, and TV life is totally different story. And we forget that part, and we came and we get there and we want to be this, that, but reality is not that.
I was thinking earlier, you make a good point, because I feel there's more that is glamorized in the world, which is not normal, than for people to realize glamorizing what normal is, so that it can be accepted.
Yes, absolutely, I agree, right? Yeah, but reality is what is normal.
Yeah.
My normal and your normal and people normal is all different, right? But I think normal is where you are comfortable.
Well, you're comfortable, perfect.
Right.
Okay, so let me take you. So you said you were seeking for family, and the gang life gave you that family feeling.
Yes.
Okay, what went wrong in this family for you?
Well, in family, your goal is hold the family together. Happiness, sadness, love, cry, everything together. And in gang life, in like any other business, in end of the world, you're talking about the money. And more deeper you go in there, you more realize it's not you they care about. It's how much you can bring to the table.
Okay. Then now it's no longer unconditional love in this family.
No. Unconditional love is another, I believe, I don't know, I believe is another human, I don't know how can I say it, there is no unconditional love.
Okay.
Love is always come with a condition.
Whoa. Okay. If you don't love me back, I can't love you. That's
Yes,
the condition.
that's the condition. Or I love you if you do this.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, so that brought an awakening to you then to realize that this is not true love or this is not a true family, and you wanted to find freedom, I guess.
Yes, kind of. It was like one of the things about the gang life was for me and lots of immigrants who come in. We come from very violent countries, and we are very well adapted to the violence.
Okay.
So when we come to North America or something, then you get to the gang life, because you are adapted to the violence, you grow fast in that industry.
Right.
You already to the point you don't care about life that much anyway.
Yeah.
Like if you in Eastern families and culture, I remember we in history is all about talking how to die. We never have a subject to talk about how to live. Die by honor.
Yeah.
Die with dignity.
Right.
Don't disgrace your family if you want to die. Die with,
Yeah.
pride, right? It's all about how to die. We never learned how to live.
And then I think I remember you telling me, and yours was die by the bullet.
Die by bullets. That was my goal. I said, I want to die. As a man, I want to die by bullet.
And that's what made you feel like a man.
That's give me a purpose of being a man. Because when you grow up in the country, war, and people dying every day is about bring the honor to the family because nothing else left, right? So for me was, dying by bullet. I didn't want to die in a hospital, or I said I prefer, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die by a bullet.
Okay, so I think I remember you telling me that your freedom was restricted in the gang life, and then you left the life of gangs. I wanted to touch on how did this lead to substance abuse?
I believe my freedom was like when you live in the gang, you have some kind of the freedom. You have money, you have the crew, people are scared of you. You get to the nightclub without standing in a lineup, all that. But I had all those, hang out with these boys and everything, but in the same time, I never was happy. I always was miserable and angry,
Okay.
Like it was even between the boys, it was a joke. If sometimes I'm watching TV, I am smiling, people passing by and say, Freddie, are you smiling? Is that real one or what? They make a joke. I was a very angry person and very, not happy. And when I left the gang, well, we think we are free, but we are not. You still have to buy the rules. Even a street, living in the street, there is a rules in the street, right? So you have to follow those rules. So when I get there and I got that freedom, and for me was, especially I didn't have anybody in Canada, so I didn't have a worry I've been seen by uncle or grandpa or, and so I'm free. I can do anything I want, right? So sometimes freedom I experience is not good for us if we don't have a knowledge for it.
If you don't have knowledge for it, freedom is bad.
Yes, it's like money.
Yeah.
Money sometimes is a poison if you don't really have enough education to know how to use that money to the benefit of you, your family, people around you, society. I can kill myself with that money, right?
That takes me off to a whole different topic, but I want to stay on track here. I really love that too much freedom can be bad, and I think it is actually legit to experience that and then to see it take you down, I guess. Yeah. I understand you told me you were homeless for almost 5 years, but I do know that when you left the streets, you actually had a lot of money and you bought your own apartment.
Yes.
So how did you go from apartment to then being homeless?
Oh, it was very fast trip. Like I didn't really realize the time. When I was in the gang, I'm working and we make money, decent money, and I bought an apartment in downtown Vancouver and fancy cars and whatever. And then when I left the gang and and I had I think substance use and addiction is solution to my problem.
Okay.
My problem was the hole inside me, I couldn't fill it up. That's why it kept me angry, not happy, nothing really satisfied my soul. Yeah. I feel always you lack of that self-respect.
Right.
I could buy a very high jeans and expensive clothes, but inside that clothes, I know who is in there. I can lie to you, but I can't lie to myself. So that gap, that hole is always hold me. And when I left the gang and I had a bunch of money in my hand, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna take a break and just have fun. But by drinking, doing the line, party, nightclub life, but at the same time we are building the substance use problem. First it was just fun, and then wake up, headache. Okay, I'm gonna have little bit, just my headache go away. And that little bit became more, because addiction is very aggressive, grow very fast. And before you know it, now it's not just my headache go away. I have to wake up and drink so I get rid of the shake. I can go present out there, right? And apartment, cars, always you're thinking, it's not like I sell it, I'm gonna go smoke it, but in my head, I'm gonna sell this and I do the business and make more money, I buy two. This is the idea. But they are all idea you dream, you creating when you are under the influence.
Right.
There is no commitment to it.
Okay.
So you sell the house, you save some of it, and then you still party. One thing is never a stop is partying.
Right, that's consistent. And I
It's
think
constant.
that touches the point when you said that's when addiction of cocaine led to addiction of heroin. Sneaking in there almost, it sounded like.
Yes. And like I was doing the party, having a sleep, I'm doing cocaine, I'm getting hyper. Now I need something to calm me down. So in my head, I'm doing a little bit of heroin to just calm me down.
Correct.
I didn't plan to be a heroin addict. But at the same time, I'm manifesting another addiction under layer of the other one. To cover, it's like a lie. You do one lie and you do another lie to cover that lie.
Now you have two lies to deal with.
I have a problem with this substance. Now I'm doing this substance to cover this substance. And it's just add to it, right? And yeah, before you know it, I lost the apartment, the house. Of course, people doesn't do anything with me anymore because you became another side of the addiction is you became unreliable.
Unreliable, right.
You know, people can't count on your word. You're always late. You always forget things. You became liability.
Inexpensive habit, you called it.
Oh yes, pretty expensive. It is expensive. It's expensive, yeah.
So now that I believe was you said 4 to 5 years, you don't really have a home anymore, and you're struggling with this both addiction happening at the same time. How did you decide that? Let me conquer this. I know. I think we spoke about your family finally getting involved, or your brother saying something to you. But can you walk me down? How did you finally decide? Let me conquer this addiction.
Well, I knew in my heart I have to do something, but as I said, as a mentality, for last 2 years of my addiction, which I was homeless, living in the shelter. Now I lost everything, nothing left. The only thing left for me was dying with the bullets.
Right.
I didn't want to die in some back alley, find me overdose or. So I do crazy things to, like I can say I was a suicidal, but I didn't want to admit it, and I didn't want to die by my own hand.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Right? So I did lots of crazy things, so I get involved with the law and in and out in jail. And I really didn't decide. I knew I want to get out, but I didn't know how.
Okay.
I was too deep in there. I didn't know anybody out of the addiction life. And I didn't have much hope. I'm going to survive out there. No skills, no trade. I don't know anybody, no family here, right? It was a scary thought to get clean. Okay, I get clean, I overcome the addiction, then what?
Correct, yeah.
Right? I can't go back to the gang life. I can't go back to the crime life. Then what? And I don't have any skills.
You have no work experience.
All my life I was in war, revolution, running around, just, So it's kind of a scary thought, but George helped me with that.
Tell me about the judge.
Yes.
I think this is a good way to almost
Yes.
take this towards the end, because that's where it all ended, right?
Yeah,
Really.
yeah.
But how did the judge play a role? Because you were in and out of jail, you have committed all these crimes, and now you were sitting in front of the judge, and what happened? How many years were you supposed to go back in for?
They asked for 5 to 8 years for me.
Okay.
For robbery charges, couple of robbery charges and stuff, and I didn't know where to go and what to do, and I was kind of sick when you go to jail, you get to that sickness of the no dope, and the judge kind of looked at me and he said, You've been in my courthouse many times and you have a problem. My thought was, I want to go to jail because you want to get out at that pre-trial sentence and go to the jail because they give you medication, right? So your mind is always is just, I plead guilty, just send me. I need my coffee, my medication, right? I said, oh, I plead guilty. He said, no, you are not, you are not in this stage of the mind. I don't believe you know, you don't even understand where you are.
Okay.
You are so out of it. So he decided to not sentence me and send me to treatment for 12 months as a house of rest. So I could not leave the treatment until 1 year, and after 1 year come back for sentencing.
Wow.
That's my journey of the recovery start.
And then, so the judge deciding not to put you 8 years in jail and instead taking you to a treatment center. By the time you finished your time in a treatment center, you were so clear-headed and doing so well.
Yes, I think I was so thirsty for different life.
Right.
In that moment, any life for me was exciting and I wanted to just go. So when I got to treatment and started doing it was based on the 12-step program. I went to Luke 15 house. It was a Christian house based on, not Christian, it's a recovery, but based on the Christianity. Yeah. And I was the only person, I couldn't leave the house.
Wow, right, correct, yeah.
So I do cleaning the house, I fix things in the house, and slowly I grow in that mini community.
Wow.
So I became a house manager, house monitor, and grow in that level. And then I got slowly, when I get more clean, the probation officer, they give me more freedom to go out of the property and do voluntary things. And before you know it, I was doing the Boys and Girls Club voluntary, working with at-risk youth. And I guess the side of me who was always hiding or stuck, all of a sudden come out.
I think I really hope to invite you one more time to this, yeah?
Sure.
Because there's a lot more we have to talk about for sure. Our time is running out.
Yeah.
But I think this touches one of the most important aspects why we are doing this show, so that the whole community to know that they play a role. Because it sounds like to me, I know you told me you did a lot of treatment centers in the past as well, like in and out of treatment center, right? But it took a judge who is supposed to arrest you and said, you know what, close you in there for 8 years. It took that person to look beyond the drug addict, to look beyond this person and say, no, let's get you well first.
Yeah.
When you are well, are you this criminal that we think you are?
Yeah.
And that's a different part of a member of a society who played a big part in your life.
Yeah.
To be. But crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, they said take a village to raise the kid.
It takes a village to raise a kid.
And that's village, we all part of that village. I mean, I think the first time I didn't recognize as a criminal, an addict or junkie, I got recognized as a human being who needed a chance.
Okay, so in our part 2 with you, we're going to touch in a little bit more of this.
Absolutely.
Right? Freddie, it's been an honor to be with you.
Thank you so much,
for
my man.
joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Do not miss next week's episode where we are interviewing Sunny. He talks about his bullying in school that led to using substances and unfortunately being raised by a single mom and lack of respect for women. He was so disrespectful, however, he found a way to seek help. And today, Sunny is doing great work in the community. You will not want to miss this episode. I'll see you next week.